Welcome to Carol's Story Time. This is The Journey with Mum, Living with Dementia by Barbara Carnew. Sometimes in the journey of life, we find ourselves walking along a road we would not choose for ourselves. A road that is dark, unknown, uncertain. We may wish to turn back or turn off that road because it brings experiences that are painful, but there's no turning back, no diversion, no alternative route to take. This narrow way hedges you in, and there is no other way to go. This has been my experience since coming back to Northern Ireland with my husband after living 30 years overseas. Our main reason for returning to Northern Ireland was to support my mum in her 90s, who was showing early signs of dementia. This decision was mutual, knowing in our hearts that the Lord had a special call to a new ministry of caring for my mother in her older years. We were aware that over the next few years, Mum would gradually need more help as dementia progressed, and I wanted to be here for her and also for my sister, who was taking an ever-increasing responsibility for Mum's support. Not that Mum ever asked for or demanded any support. In fact, quite the opposite. She is a fiercely independent lady and is totally unaware of the amount of care she needs and gets. Her constant mantra over the years has been, "I can do it myself." Unfortunately, a fall and a fractured hip in July last year exacerbated the dementia, leading to a deterioration in her mental and physical health, and resulting in many distressing moments for her and for us. After 6 weeks in hospital, she was discharged to a care home, where she remained for 10 weeks, demanding every day to go home, totally unaware of her increasing dependence in spite of advice from the care home staff. My sister and I felt that we really wanted to try to look after Mum at home, hoping that in her own surroundings she would settle down and regain some independence. However, unfortunately, this did not happen. We found that Mum needed constant care 24/7. Life as we would plan it has gone out the window. Normal life is on hold. One could say there's a new normal, which is not normal. In fact, I often ask now, what is normal? This narrow path, full of twists and turns, is so uncertain from day to day that it is impossible to plan ahead. Days consist of organising life around dear Mum, being on call, visiting, and now she has been discharged home, trying to settle her into a routine with carers she doesn't want and a situation that confuses her. Nights of broken sleep, days trying to keep her active physically and mentally, ever adjusting to her moods and changing needs. We are constantly coping with abnormal behaviour, mood swings, confusion, wakeful nights, so many changes in the person we love, but who at times seems to have turned against us with accusations and verbal abuse, who is repetitive, angry, afraid, depressed, trying to remain in control and totally frustrated because she's not in control any longer. I know many people of our age are in similar circumstances, watching a loved one, parent, husband, wife, struggling with this horrible disease called Alzheimer's, feeling that you are gradually losing that loved one and having to cope with the different person they are becoming. Also dealing with your own emotions and feelings that get you down, feeling trapped in an endless tunnel with no light at the end, feelings of helplessness, not knowing what to do or how to react or how to help Mum in her confusion, feeling hurt by criticisms and accusations, angry with Mum's negative behaviour, then guilty because of my own negative reactions. I feel sad watching dear Mum lost in the confusion of her own mind, once so intelligent and active, trying to comfort her, sobbing because she doesn't understand what is happening to her. We feel bereaved because we are losing the person she used to be and the relationship we once had. Now she has become the child, and I am the mother. One even feels apprehensive about what may be ahead, knowing that this road is a downward path of no return. Also, sometimes concerned that my own memory is becoming quite shambolic and forgetful, and afraid that I am merely further back in the same queue. How to cope, how to walk along this narrow path is a daily challenge. One thing I've come to accept is that life is not on hold. This is life, for now, a season that will pass in its time. In every trial, there are lessons that can be learned in no other way. So I ask, Lord, what do you want to teach me in this experience, in this season? In every season, God will produce fruit in our lives. In the Old Testament of the Bible, Jeremiah the prophet describes the person who trusts in the Lord and who puts their confidence in Him as being like a tree planted by the river, sending out its roots into the water. This tree does not fear when the heat comes. Its leaves are always green. It has no worries in a year of drought, and it never fails to bear fruit. So it is for a person who trusts in God. They will be like that tree, receiving life from the river of God, producing fruit even in times of difficulty and challenge.